Happy Wednesday, it's Miss Kelsey, and I am so excited that you have tuned in for our Wednesday night family devotional. You know, right now, lots of people are looking at what's happening around them. People are getting sick, churches, schools, and businesses are closing, and they're worried. There's lots of things to be worried about right now. I know that I am worried about some things right now. Being worried is natural, but if you're a friend of Jesus, there is something that you can do with your worries because Jesus' power calms our worries. We're going to explore that a little bit more in a minute. But first, let's talk about this past week, God sightings. Where have you seen God providing for you? Where has He been busy working in your world? God has given me and Mr. Cole some truly awesome neighbors. They went out of their way to help us build a garden with some of their very own stuff. Getting to stand outside and talk with them for about half an hour was probably the highlight of my week. And now, thanks to them and their generosity and their helping us out, in a few months I'll be making my very own salsa, and I cannot wait. I love salsa. So, pause me for a minute as you talk about your own God sightings this week. Wow, thank you so much for sharing. So, what do you do with worry? Well, these kids have a pretty good idea. How about you get on your feet and let's join them.
Free like a bird in the big blue sky, not a cloud or a care for a million miles. I won't worry about a thing. God loves me and He loved me first. He rescued me when I was in a lurch, and I won't worry about a thing. And to the left I'll fly, fly, fly. To the right I'll glide, glide, glide. Oh, and I won't worry about a thing. I'm gonna swoop down low, low, low. Then I'll soar up high, high, high. Oh, and I won't worry about a thing. Free like a bird in the big blue sky, not a cloud or a care for a million miles. I won't worry about a thing. God loves me and He loved me first. He rescued me when I was in a lurch, and I won't worry about a thing. To the left I'll fly, fly, fly. To the right I'll glide, glide, glide. Oh, and I won't worry about a thing. I'm gonna swoop down low, low, low. Then I'll soar up high, high, high. Oh, and I won't worry about a thing. And to the left I'll fly, fly, fly. To the right I'll glide, glide, glide. Oh, and I won't worry about a thing. I'm gonna swoop down low, low, low. Then I'll soar up high, high, high. Oh, and I won't worry about a thing. Yeah, and I won't worry about a thing. Whoa, and I won't worry about a thing.
Well, that was fun. What a great song to remind us that Jesus' power calms our worries. You know, the world seems really worried. Worried about the coronavirus, about jobs, about so many things. What are you hearing that we should be worried about right now? I want you to take a minute. I want you to write or draw some things that you're hearing people worry about. Put one thing on each piece of paper. You can make a whole bunch. Pause the video while you do that. Okay, great, thanks. All right, now, let's talk about this. What do you usually do when you get worried? Well, as for me, I try to pray. A couple of weeks ago, I had to go to the dentist and have some dental work done. And I was really worried that it was going to hurt. And I don't like it when it hurts at the dentist. And I just kind of kept worrying about that before it was time to go. Well, when I got there, I started praying. Please help this not to hurt. And you know what? Jesus listened. He took that worry away. And it really wasn't that bad. I want you to pause me and talk about what you do when you worry. As you talk, I want you to take those pieces of paper and crumple them up, all those that you wrote on. You're going to need them in just a few minutes. All right, ready? Tell your family, what do you usually do when you worry?
There was a guy in the Bible who trusted Jesus, but then started to worry and things didn't go well. Our story today is from the book of Matthew, chapter 14, verses 22 through 33. Follow along as we hear today's true Bible story.
Stories of the Bible. Peter walks on water. This is Peter.
Hey-o! Whoop!
Peter was a fisherman who was called by Jesus.
Hey!
Peter saw the many miracles of Jesus,
Whoa!
and he heard all his teachings. Great crowds followed Jesus wherever he went. One day after Jesus had done a great miracle, he sent the disciples in a boat across the lake while he stayed and sent the people home.
See ya! Hey, Jesus!
After sending them home, Jesus went up into the hills by himself to pray. Meanwhile, the disciples were in trouble far away from land, for a strong wind had risen, and they were fighting heavy waves.
Ah!
About 3 o'clock in the morning, Jesus came toward them, walking on water. When the disciples saw him walking on the water, they were terrified.
Ah!
In their fear, they cried out, "It's a ghost!"
Hold on there.
But Jesus spoke to them at once. "Don't be afraid," he said. "Take courage. I am here." Then Peter called to him, "Lord, if it's really you, tell me to come to you walking on the water." So Jesus said, "Yes, come." So Peter went over the side of the boat
Whoa! You're awesome!
and walked on the water toward Jesus. But when he saw the strong wind and the waves,
Ah! Whoa!
he was terrified and began to sink.
Baby, help me!
"Save me, Lord!" he shouted. Jesus immediately reached out and grabbed him. Jesus said, "You have so little faith. Why did you doubt me?" When they climbed back into the boat, the wind stopped. Then the disciples worshipped him and said, "You really are the Son of God."
Okay, let's recap. Jesus' friends were in a boat. The winds picked up and the waves got bigger and bigger, and the wind was howling. Whew. Jesus' friends saw Jesus walking on the water toward them. I would be so shocked. And Peter got out of the boat and walked with Jesus. Okay, now pick one person from your family to pretend to be Peter. Got someone? Okay, Peter, stand up and look across the room. Where you're looking is where we're going to pretend that Jesus is waiting for you. You're going to step out of the boat, so take a step up and over, stand on the water. Now take a step toward Jesus, keep your eyes on him, and now another step. Good. All right, everyone else, as Peter walks, throw all of those paper worries at him. Pause the video while you give everyone a turn to be Peter. That's like what happened to Peter. He looked around and saw the wind and the waves and got worried that he would drown. He took his eyes off Jesus and the worry started distracting him. Once Peter took his eyes off Jesus and paid more attention to his worries than to Jesus, he sank like a rock. But Jesus grabbed Peter by the arm and saved him. Here's a question for you to talk about. What happened as you tried to walk across the room and the papers kept hitting you? Pause me while you talk about that. Now pause me and talk about this question. Out of all the things you could worry about, what's the one you worry about most? How is that distracting you from Jesus? Thanks for sharing. If your worries sometimes distract you from Jesus, you're just like Peter. But you can learn the same lesson that he did. Jesus' power calms our worries.
Okay, let's do a science experiment that can help us show how Jesus' power can calm our worries. What you'll need for this experiment is a bowl of water, 2 markers, and 2 paper towels folded like this. Pause the video while you go grab those items. Great job. So first, I'm going to show you the experiment and then I will explain how to do it. So watch me first. So on the front of my paper towel, I've drawn myself. This is how I feel when I'm worried. The straight line shows that I'm not exactly sad. I just am thinking about other things and worrying about them. But Jesus' power can calm our worries. When we focus our eyes on Jesus, he can take our worries away. One way that I like to focus my eyes on Jesus is by completely immersing myself in his word and by praying. So I'm going to completely immerse myself in his word. Ready? When I focus on his word and spend my time with him, my worries can turn into joy. Even though I still have those worries, I can be joyful in my circumstances and know that God is always there for me. Wasn't that cool? This is a really simple science experiment or art project that you can do at home. It's really easy. So you're going to take your 2 paper towels and fold them in half like this. On the front side of your paper towel, you can draw anything you want. So something easy for me to draw is just a smiley face. Okay, so he's sad. Then what I do is I make this part a little bit thicker so I can see it. Then you're gonna open it up. You see your 2 points. You're going to draw your smiley face. And then you're gonna fold it where nobody can see it, so it's even kind of like a magic trick. Then when you're ready, you'll drop your paper towel into the water and watch as you can see your whole picture.
Jesus' power can calm our worries if we keep our eyes on him. I want you to do this. I want you to take someone's hand and I want you to pray for that person by name to keep their eyes on Jesus during this season of worry. I want you to pause the video and you can do that now. Awesome prayers. Now, when this video ends, you can draw a cross, a heart, or something else that reminds you of Jesus in your thankfulness journal. Thank him for calming your worries. Put today's date on that page and keep adding to your journal this week as you see more God sightings this week. See you next week.